I see you got the memo. No, you're not in trouble. I don't know why everyone assumes they're in trouble as soon as they get into my office, but you're not in trouble. Don't think this is special treatment, though. Maybe it's my brow. It looks so stern, so serious. Of course, the reason I called you in, I'll admit that it's only tangential to your work or your job or even your role in the company itself, but I have to say that you're the only one I can really trust with this sort of thing at this very moment because you work here. You were one of the first hires I got to pick for myself. I can't believe it was so long ago, and I can't believe I still remember, though if you've forgotten, I completely understand, but I don't know, you got to see me when I just got out from under Daddy's thumb and took over the company when I first began to make it in my own image, make it me. You got to see me and still somehow respected me. I can't even imagine how you did it. I'm me, after all, and that was just a meager 3 years ago. I can't imagine how things could... Sorry. Anyhow, back to the topic at hand. I feel like I have a particular kinship with you. You more than other employees. Not that I mean that in a weird way. Don't give me the wrong idea, of course not, but you... For a couple months there, you were kinda... Well, how do I even say it? You were the closest thing I had to a friend. I know this is what I was worried about being so weird about, but you... Look, I don't know how to say this, but it was almost nice to come into the office with the knowledge that there'd be a familiar face there waiting for me. Don't get me wrong, it wasn't usually a friendly face. In fact, it was a face without any emotion to it at all most of the time, least of all in front of me, but it was nice. Just nice to have someone there. But back to the subject at hand. The point of all this stupid, unnecessary, mushy-gushy feelings talk is that fundamentally, I trust you. I trust you more than I should. Well, with our class divide of CEO and wage slave wedging a cubicle between us, but I do. And I need help. Now, it's not rare to have a female CEO. Not common by any means nowadays, not really, but not uncommon, but my father, my Big Daddy Warbucks, well, he runs in circles where, well, it is. Circles I'll call him impotent for bearing the cursed sex destined to run his first child into the ground in a very sort of Cain and Abel by way of turnabout. Circles that'll burn me alive for being almost 25 without a child on my hip and a spouse on my arms. I mean, I'm sure they prefer a husband either way, but I'm not exactly picky at this point. Or in general, really. Never really got a chance to be more selective, you could say, but anyways, the board, the very same shark-infested waters my father liked to swim in, is hosting a gala to celebrate my 3rd year running the company, and the word has gotten around that there'll be press. Not just press, hot press. Gossip, tabloids, celebrity magazines, The kind of reading materials that chew up ingenues and spits them out every day for the rest of their lives. And if you're lucky enough to be Diana Spencer, even longer than that. The shift in power is already public and controversial enough for such a high-profile company like this that they're still pointing out minor gaffes and typos from my high school days to try to build enough of a case up to ruin me, to bring down the reign of the king just because they gave his crown a different kind of name. This company is quite literally all I have, and it isn't even really mine, and if they find out how truly pathetic and inept and nervous and paranoid and how much like me I really am, they'll find a way to rip it away from me. They're looking for any sign of slippage, and not being the kind of woman that the board wants me to be is enough, and just as enough for the media under a different name. And from there, it's just a matter of not if, but when. Back when my father was still in charge, and I was but a mere underling toiling away in my youth at his knee, did he know that the board said that they could get a hysteria diagnosis to stick if they really, truly didn't like me? A hysteria diagnosis! But I believe they could. In fact, I know they could. That's the kind of circle I'm working in. That's the kind of company my father kept. If they wanted me lobotomized, they could get it done good and fast and cheap and legal. And they've mentioned that, too. Okay. I've laid out the scenario as it stands, point blank. I understand completely if you don't want to enter this high-risk world of stocks and sabotage damnation at the hands of the Tao, but your task is fundamentally very, very simple. Anyone could do it, really. Don't begin thinking you're special. Just not me. I need you to play my spouse. I take you to the gala in a month's time, dressed to the nines. We schmooze where it's needed and probably where it's not, and then I will probably never have to worry about an arrangement like this ever again between the two of us. The story is that we've been married for 3 years. The big scandal that's prevented me from being more open about my marital status being the fact that we got married shortly after you were hired and the concerns of nepotism and power dynamics that come from that. Simple and clean and damn near close enough to the truth to pass as necessary. Do you mean you don't remember? You really don't? No. It's nothing. It's nothing at all. Nothing. Also, please understand that with the risk you're taking for my sake, it will not go unpunished, or rather, the favor you're doing will net some material reward in turn for being so willing to do this for me. Your salary will be tripled in exchange for less hours of work, and naturally, you will be granted a favor from me. I have many of my father's same resources at my fingertips, so anything you want, I'll be able to grant it to you. As long as it isn't, weird. Or maybe even if it is, even if it involves me, somehow, me and you, well, that's what I'm willing to do, to avoid a fate worse than death in my eyes. But for some reason, if it's you, I have a feeling that it might not be so bad. Anyways, my point is, you have till the end of the day to give me an answer. If you want an extra lunch break to consider it, then, well, You might want to take it. Dismissed. Please.